Hi, welcome to our first level 3 trigonometry video. We're going to introduce radians, something you may have come across in level 2. Now we know degrees help us to determine the amount of turn. Radians are also an alternative way to measure turn. We know that there are 360 degrees in a full turn, so we're going to say there are 2 pi radians in a full turn. So we're going to say 2 pi radians is equivalent to 360 degrees. Now let's define a radian. The angle created when the length of an arc is the same as the radius of a circle. Now what does that mean? Here's our circle, and here we have 2 radii, creating an angle at the center between the radius. Now this forms a sector, but it's not just any sector, it's a special sector where the radius is equivalent to the length of the arc of the sector. And the angle created, theta, is 1 radian. So this is 1 radian, 2 radians, 3 radians, 4 radians, 5 radians, 6 radians, 6 and a bit. Now 6 and a bit radians is equivalent to 2 pi. And so we say 2 pi is equal to 360 degrees. Right, some common radian degree conversions you should know off by heart. 360 is equivalent to 2 pi radians. So 180 degrees is 1 pi. 90 degrees is pi over 2, and 270 degrees is equivalent to 3 pi over 2. Also, don't forget that 0 degrees is 0 radians. Right, well here's a formal way to change radians into degrees and degrees back into radians. Let's go through this and see if we can practice it with a few examples. Here's example 1. We're going to convert 60 degrees into radians. Now looking at our conversion, we want to change degrees into radians. So we're going to multiply by pi over 180. So 60 times pi over 180 gives us 60 pi over 180. 60 over 180 simplify down to 1/3, so we've got pi over 3. If you prefer, you could take pi, 3.1415 decimal, and divide it by 3, and you could turn it into a decimal 1.047 rounded to 4 significant figures, radians. All right, here's example 2. Let's convert 243 degrees into radians. Well, we're changing degrees into radians, so we must multiply by pi over 180. So 243 times pi over 180 gives us 243 pi over 180. Now that doesn't simplify, so you could leave it as a fraction, or you could work it out as a decimal to give us 4.241 radians, and I'll round it to 4 significant figures as well. Right, here's example 3. Let's convert 3 pi over 5 radians into degrees. So this time we're changing radians back into degrees. So we're going to multiply by 180 over pi is the opposite. So when we multiply fractions, we go top times top, bottom times bottom. So we're going to get 540 pi over 5 pi. The pi's will cancel out in this example and give us 540 over 5, which is 108 degrees. Right, our fourth example, we're changing 1.73 radians into degrees. Well, we're changing radians into degrees, so we must multiply by 180 over pi. So let's get a calculator, go 1.73 times 180 over pi, and we'll round it to 99.1 degree to 1 decimal place. Right, let's come back to our definition of a radian. We know that 1 radian is equivalent to an angle where the radius is equivalent to the arc length. So this here is a sector with 1 radian. Now if we're changing radians back into degrees, we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. So let's take 1 radian and times it by 180 over pi, and that gives us an angle of 57.3 degrees. So 1 radian is equivalent to an angle of 57.3 degrees. Right, well that's us for our first video. So thanks very much for watching.